All right, all right. Well, hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and that depends on where you're chiming in from around the world right about now. Welcome to Epic. I'm excited to share with you what will prove to be an amazing, life-changing, economic, impactful platform for a lot of people on this planet called Earth. I am excited. I'm your host, Janice Parker, and I'm excited to tell you about what we're putting together, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and the opportunity for you to actually be first. So first things first, I want you to sit back and relax. If you have a pen and paper, I'd like you to grab that because it's always good to take notes because you just know, well, you should know that you retain more of what you hear and write than just what you hear. But my question is, shouldn't you be first at least once in your life? In other words, I myself would have loved to have been one of those people who received that letter from Sam Walton asking to invest $1,000, into his project long time ago, like my cousin did. Unfortunately, my cousin put the letter into a drawer and pulled it out years later and realized he could have been a millionaire. I would like to think that I would have been smart enough to say yes to that, you know what I mean, and not been skeptical. That's what I would like to think. On the other hand, we started to look at and hear stories like with Bill Gates, and there was a gentleman that was first, that was with him in those infancy stages when they all looked, like 60s rebels and stuff, that literally had invested in a company and decided he wanted his $800 back, could not see the vision of Microsoft and what Bill Gates had. And I would like to think that if I'd have been that guy, I would have left my $800 with Bill Gates. Because what we hear about that gentleman today is that gentleman lives in a trailer park and is basically broke. I would like to think I wouldn't have been that way. Mark Zuckerberg, when he was sitting around wanting to create something called Facebook so that as friends, people in college could communicate, I would like to think that if I was sitting in that room with him, if I was sitting in the garage with Bex, that I would have been smart enough to say yes to that opportunity. Well, the fact of the matter is all of those are past, right? There's nothing any of us can do to go back and be first in any of those meetings, but you are first tonight. And my question is, shouldn't you be first at least once in your life? See, what's going to happen now is there's an opportunity for you to literally position yourself first, actually to secure position equity in a company that will be formidable in the entire, network marketing and Forex space, and you're hearing it before the masses. We are a global company that provides an environment for people, and we don't care what your background is. We've got them as young as 18, some of them working under their parents as young as 16, literally learning a lifelong skill in Forex. Now, if you're not familiar with what Forex is, it is the decentralizing of foreign currency. It allows what used to be a playground just for banks and institutions and big companies. We put our money in the bank, they give us 0.2%. But they took it over to foreign exchange and created, mega dollars with our money. So if you ever saw the bank where it said, updating or whatever the case may be, that's processing. That's just the processing of them, using our money to make more money. Nothing wrong with it. But see, now that Forex, foreign exchange, has been decentralized, it allows OTC, which is over the counter. That allows you and me to have the opportunity with small transactions, not the same amount of money that used to be required, but with small transaction costs to literally be able to, pursue our financial dreams. And we have that platform right here. With us is over 100+ years of successful business, in the multi-level marketing space. Plus, we have traders that 6 figures, 7 figures, and even 8 figures per year that are actually going to train us, because what I know about Forex is about that much. But what I am able to do is to learn a little something. And because our platform is online, because you're able to not only build your business online and trade and earn money online, we are 100% debt-free, and that is very, very powerful. So let me introduce you to our leadership. The founder of our company, and what's interesting about this page is I know these people, like I knew them before we launched this platform. And the beautiful thing about it, as I was looking and I was telling Pastor Gerald, one of the things is that I do like each one of these persons, that every one of them is exceptionally professional and about their work. So the founder, David McCovey out of Las Vegas, actually has, we worked together in a project, and then he went on to actually open his own first MLM, and now the founder of this one. His company, Evolution, has done very, very well over the last 4 years, and now he's put his foot in the Forex market, and y'all can best believe the way he blew that one up, this one is going to be even bigger because he's flanked himself with another gentleman that I respect a lot. I remember a specific training that Mr. Iverson did when we were down in, I think I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and when I saw this man speak, and now to see that he is the president of the company, what I realized was this is a guy that crosses his T's and dots his I's. He's about business. He's about facts. He's meticulous. And so he is a perfect head to be the president of the company. Now, Mark Sterling, my personal mentor, at one point in time, Mark, I'm like following Mark around the country because this gentleman was the epitome of how to run a business, how to do, network marketing, how to grow a team, how to move the product. And so being the vice president of sales is like, it only makes sense. David Luciaga. Now, I've only known David for a few years, but in following his career, this gentleman, right, he has always been like, I guess you would say you're 18. So if anybody had a business that was very, very successful, Luciaga, tends to have his head or be a part of it in some way. So we're excited to have him as VP of Business Development because that's what he's about. He's all about his business. Now, Jonathan Green, learned from this gentleman from afar. Now, we were partnered together in a project. We worked together, but I loved watching how he knew how to move the crowd, how he could inspire, how he taught. Because when he taught you, you actually learned. And so we're grateful to have him as our Global Master Ambassador. And Coach Max, when I heard her on the first webinar I ever heard her talk about foreign exchange, and to know that this young lady had to pick herself up because she lost her job. Her husband said, well, you like trading. You've looked at it. Why don't you just kind of dive into it? And family, that's what she did. She got her YouTube on, which I will tell each of you to do. You don't know, Forex, but it's not new. There's plenty of videos that will teach you what foreign exchange is. The beautiful thing that she brings to the table is the years that she took and studied on her own in the foreign exchange platform. So she is our master and director of foreign exchange training because she already knows it. And when I was listening to her and I was seeing what she and her team was bringing to the table and that their signals were winning, right? It's like perfect. So we've got the perfect platform. I am Coach JP. I have worked in network marketing and come from a space quite like Coach Max. I remember when my business failed in 2008 and I had to pull myself up by my bootstraps. It was then that I worked with Mr. McCovey in a prior project and went on to become a six-figure earner in that project and then a six-figure earner in the next one. Well, guess what, guys? You and I, we have the ability to become a seven-figure earner here. See, it's out of adversity, right, that you actually get stronger. So our leadership team is on top of it. Now, foreign exchange. Again, Forex is just the abbreviation. So if you're taking notes, it is the abbreviation for foreign exchange. Just those two words merged. The act of buying and selling currencies. And what's so interesting is, how hindsight is always 20/20. I remember a gentleman years ago, an older gentleman. Now, two things he told me. I didn't tell y'all this the last thing. But one of the things he was trying to do was create what we now call like the ATM card or like your Apple Pay and things of that nature. Family, this was 25 years ago. He was trying to create that because he said that the dollar was going to go away 25 years ago, right? But the other thing that he told me was he said you need to start like buying foreign money or something with the foreign dollar because the U.S. dollar was shrinking, something like that. I believe today that he was telling me to actually start, working in foreign exchange or Forex. And so it's kind of interesting how life is full circle. Again, it's used daily by banks, central banks, institutional investors, and individuals around the world. And once upon a time was kind of like segmented off for the people who had a lot of money, a lot of zeros to actually put into the market. Well, today it is a portable skill that can benefit you for life. We have what we call OTC, again, over-the-counter trading that you can do from whatever platform you choose. A lot of us use MetaTrader 4. Some people use Forex.com. So again, Epic is providing you the platform. Epic will not be teaching you to trade. Our traders will be teaching you that. And with the market being the largest in the world, not affected by what happens on the New York Stock Exchange, not affected by what's going on with the coronavirus, anytime we're buying sanitizer, anytime we're buying, we're using Grubhub or DoorDash, when currency is being exchanged, that's what that market is doing. And can you believe this? $6 trillion a day, 5 days a week is what Forex does. So we're excited to bring that platform to you. So here's what Epic is going to provide for you. Because most of us come into this platform and we know this much, right, about foreign exchange. We're going to provide you with live sessions. As a matter of fact, as soon as you get started, you get a chance to start immediately participating in live sessions. We're going to show you, allow you to look and see what the big traders see so that you can start to understand the language and the, what different, acronyms mean and how it works, how to read a candle, what is a pip and a dip. All of that we're going to provide with you through live sessions and trainings. Now, because a lot of us, are going to be like novices. Our university is going to be basic, intermediate, and advanced. I am nowhere near these two levels. Intermediate and advanced is not where I am because I don't know that much about it. But they're going to be sending us signals. We're pitting the U.S. dollar against the Japanese yen. We're going to do the pounds against the peso. I don't know. But whatever it is, they're going to send us daily signals that we literally, if you can kind of copy and paste to a certain extent, you literally can begin to earn in the Forex market. Now, we're going to send you through a 2-week syllabus first because you really want to start with a demo account. Nobody jumps into the market, right? You really don't want to go. And if you're not ready in 2 weeks, don't. You can keep your demo account and play money like we do with Monopoly, right, until you're comfortable. Along with the market forecast and the trading communities, everything that you need to win in the Forex market is going to be right here with Epic, and we're excited about that. So because there can be income earned on the Forex side, and I'm about to talk to you about income that can be earned if you build a team as well, I must read to you this disclaimer, and I'm going to throw in my little tidbit surely as we go. Epic cannot and will not make any guarantees about your ability to get results or earn any money with our programs, our tools, or our strategies. In other words, no past profits are indicative of future gains. We all understand that. The plan rewards you, Y-O-U, so keyword is you, for selling the products and the services to customers. While the opportunity is unlimited, individual results will certainly vary depending on many factors. And family, we all grown. We know that it's based on our commitment level. We know that it's based on our individual efforts and our marketing skills. Now, you may say, well, maybe I don't have marketing skills. Then get some. Get your YouTube on. Start, reading and jump into the trainings because we're going to teach you all of that, right? Any and all income projections should not be considered as a guarantee or projection of your actual earnings or profits. Success with the company results only from active, keyword, active participation and successful marketing efforts, which do require that 4-letter word, right? It's network marketing, not net hope it works marketing or net sit around and see if it works marketing. It requires work, commitment, and diligence on whose part? Your part. Well, let's summarize that the way Grandma would say it. Grandma would say, listen, baby, you can't just talk the talk, right? You got to walk the walk. Young people, you guys know, you say you can't just talk about it. You got to be about it. So in other words, this is going to be based on your willingness to go to work. But what I love about the opportunity is the fact that I go to work, right? You, we, us, we go to work, but we're not talking about working forever. We're talking about, listen, and I was talking to some of our champions, and one of the things that I was telling them was this, as I said, we go to work for 2 years. We go to work for 3 years, and we bank. So we grind and bank. Because the idea of creating this kind of income, if you're looking at this chart and you're looking at the monthly pay, multiply that by 13 because you'll be paid 13 times a year, and that's what your annual income is. Imagine being able to sock away $1 million or $500,000 and being able to turn that income into, additional, like that money making money for you because you invested in real estate or in another business or in, more money in the foreign exchange market. Does that make sense? So this is an opportunity where the money, the ability to earn is actually there. How fast you or I earn it is going to be dependent upon us. But a compensation plan like this one is that as robust as this, family, is very, very rare, right? Very, very rare for the average person. So let's just look at this, and I'm going to break this down a little bit more in a few minutes, but several things. When you get started, all right, and I'm going to just put you over here, right? When you get started, it's just you. You are a scholar. Now, you have the ability to go and learn foreign exchange, use the live signals to actually make your trade. You go through the university, do all of that, and never, ever build a team. It is not a requirement. So you can get started as a scholar, and if that's what you want to do, that's great. Now, some scholars see the fact that, oh, well, if I refer 3 other scholars, my monthly fee is actually waived. So how do you do that? Well, we're going to help you to do that by sharing information with these people for you. Now, some of the people who join our platform will say, listen, I only want to be a scholar. I only want to trade. Great. Some of them will say, well, you know what? I want to build an organization. I want to grow a team. Great. And then some of them will be like myself and major and say, well, I want to do a little bit of both. Does that make sense? And so it doesn't matter, though, what they decide they want to do. You have 3 students, and as long as you have 3 active scholars on your platform, you will not pay the monthly subscription cost. Now, but if you do decide to build, like Rhonda and I are looking to do, if you do decide to build, what is your responsibility? Again, this is you. Well, you have several people on your team that have different desires, but we want to show each one of those people how when they help 3 people so that they can get their education for free, when we begin to do that, helping them to get 3 and free, you'll actually start to trigger an income. What do I mean by that? Well, if you do that, you'll be right here, which is what we call Founder 500, where you have 4 people in your first organization, 4 people in your second organization, and as soon as you have 2 people in that third organization, right, not that you personally recruited them all, or maybe you did, it doesn't matter. Either way, the company is going to begin to pay you $500 a month, but this is what I love. See, a lot of times in a lot of platforms, you qualify this month and they'll pay you on the 15th of next month, right? This doesn't work that way. Our work week runs from Monday to Sunday. You qualify by Sunday night at midnight. On the following Friday, the company is going to cut you a check for 1/4 of what you earned, which your qualification is $500, and they're going to pay you that every 7 days. So remember when I told you would get paid 13 times in a year? This is why. We work on a 28-day calendar or pay cycle. So because of that, every 28 days is when you're getting $500, not every 30. Does that make sense? And so as you move through the compensation plan where you go from, Founder 500 to Founder 1,000. Now, 1,000 simply meaning you're now earning $1,000 every single month. But are they waiting for the end of the month to pay you? No. Qualify by Sunday, that following Friday, the company is cutting you a check for 1/4 of that $1,250. And as you move through the compensation plan to Founder 2,000, the company is paying you because of your structure, 32 in the first leg, 32 in the second leg, and 16 in the third leg. That's only 80 people. Now let's pause for a minute, because you and I know that over 42 million Americans file for unemployment. Now, even though there are a lot of people out there with a lot of need, we may have to talk to 5 to get 2 to say yes, which is fine. But my point is, there are so many people out there that you can bless. I want you to think just real quickly. With 10 people, do you realize that $500 every 28 days is $6,500 in a year? Not $6,000, because there's that extra 28-day cycle, right? That helping 30 people pays you an extra $13,000 in a calendar year, just for helping 30 people. You may have only referred 3. That's the only requirement, right? But your team referred 3. Who referred 3 more? Who referred 3 more? Now, would it work perfectly like that? Absolutely not. Pastor Gerald could bring in 10, Major bring in 30, Rhonda bring in 40. Everybody's numbers are going to be different. Does that make sense? But the fact of the matter is this part of your organization. So remember when I said something to you about position equity, right? Like being able to secure your spot. What does that mean? Well, look at it, family. The tree is built kind of like this. And there's you, and then there's your first 3, right? Well, guess what? If your sponsor has to put people in their organization, there is a strong possibility with something we call spillover and spill under that some of those people will actually fall into your organization. Not a guarantee, and nobody builds their business hoping that somebody else's will fall in theirs. But the fact of the matter is the sooner you get started, the better your chances that some of that will be a blessing to you. Now, why is it a blessing? Well, let's just say you were sitting at the 12-12-6 mark, right? You were sitting right here. And you had 10, and you had 11, and you had 5. So you need 2 here, 1 here, and 1 here. And somebody up in your upline needs to fill up a space in their tree. And that person, one of those persons falls into leg 3, and now you have 11, right? 10, 11, and 6. Well, now that person falling in leg 3 blessed you, yes or yes? So it will happen periodically. Nobody's going to build your whole organization. You understand that. But the power is that when it falls in your organization, the company still counts it towards your qualification. Family, as you move on down to Founder 5,000, that's $1,250 every Friday. You know, there are a lot of us running around with extra part-time jobs or full-time jobs or looking for a part-time or full-time job. And you literally have the ability to create this income right from your home. We're all at home right now, family. We're all sitting in our houses, and we're able to do what I'm talking about. Ambassador 10 means you're making $10,000 a month. There are 500 people on your team. Well, Coach JP, did I recruit all 500? Heck no. None of us did. What we do is we recruit a few, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we teach the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to have, go get your 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even if all they want to do is trade. We only recommend it because guess what? I don't know about you, but if I don't have to pay $99 every single month, I don't want to as a scholar. Now, here's a side note. The moment the company begins to pay you, which is going to be when you're a Founder 500, they're going to begin to withhold the $99 from your commissions every 28 days. Now, you may ask why. So let me answer the question. As a scholar, you're learning to trade, you're doing your trading thing, and that's you. Epic doesn't see your money. We don't see your money. We're not your broker. It's between you, your broker, and the foreign exchange market. As you start to build, so if all you want to be is a scholar and you have 3 students, the $99 subscription is going to be waived, right? On the other side, though, as you grow a team and you're growing an organization, once the company is paying you, then you can resume paying your $99 per month. And so that's what the difference is, so that you understand that, right? So I don't want somebody to say, hey, I thought I was 3 and free. You are until you actually get a check from them. So up until then, you don't have a subscription that's being held from your commissions. Once you are, then that subscription will be held. Family, if you start to look at Ambassador 20, and maybe it took you 2-3 years to get to where you're making $20,000 per month, but anybody mad at that? Nobody's mad at earning an extra $260,000 part-time from home. And family, this is residual income based on the volume that you're generating. Ambassador $50,000 every single 28 days. So that's going to happen 13 times because of the 28-day cycle. Icon 100, 200, and 500 means you're earning 100,000, 200,000, or 500,000 in that monthly period or 28-day period. And Epic is the top of our compensation plan, and that's $1 million. Now, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Who cares? If you're earning $1 million a month and it took you 10 years, great. Now, some people say, well, I don't need all that. Great. Pick the spot on the chart that you need, and let's get you there. Everybody doesn't want all of that. But the beautiful thing is that it's available. It's kind of like, how you may be at your job and you're looking at, okay, there's 2 levels, 3 levels ahead of me, but that's all they make. So what that says is there is not the ability to make the kind of income you see on this chart, maybe at where you work. But at least here there is the opportunity. Does that make sense? And that's what I love about the particular comp plan. There are going to be other things, family. There are going to be rings and free vacations that the company pays for as you build your organization. All of that is coming down the pike. So what is the strategy? We are right now in pre-launch. So if you're looking at this right now, you're looking at it while we're in pre-launch, which simply means from now, right? From now, did I skip anything? No. From now to the end of September, you can get started, not for the $99. You can get started for the $19. They won't run the first $99 until October. So it gives you time to structure a team and lock in your spot, as many people as you're willing to bless, by as many people as you're willing to talk to between now and the end of the month. So the company itself does 4 Zoom presentations per day in English, 2 in Spanish, and then they have 2 or 3 live trading sessions every single day. So we are busy making things happen. We will go live in October on the 1st. So everybody who's in, the company will run everybody's cards on the 1st of October, and we go live at that point. Now, if you have your 3 scholars active, right, you never want to do anything else but have those 3 scholars and trade, you'll never make another $99 payment. And that's how powerful this is. And of course, for those who grind and get to the level of ambassador, whatever level it is, there's going to be a special retreat that the company is going to take us on when we actually get to that place. So how do you get started? The person that invited you is going to send you a link. It may be their link. It may be somebody on their team's link. For example, last night when I was working with Major texted me back and said, hey, this person's name is on the link, right? And I said, well, yeah, because that person is down in the organization. He said, oh, okay, I get it. Because, again, sometimes you have spillover and spill under. So you're going to receive a link. You want to complete the information in the link, right? Complete the information in the link, and you're going to secure your position today, and it's only going to cost you $20. I was joking with the team, and I was telling them I ordered Chinese food for my mom and I the other day, 2 small shrimp fried rice, extra shrimp, extra onions, right, and some lemonade with tax and delivery, $20.04. So it's not a hard decision. The thing is to understand that it is bigger than a $20 decision, though. You're looking at the ability to earn some significant income inside of this platform. And during this time, what's so amazing is that during this 30 days where the company is not even charging you and it's actually more valuable than $99 too, but not even charging that, you get to participate in 60 live trading sessions. Now, of course, that's depending on if you started on the 1st of September, but you're going to have trading sessions that you can actually look in on and learn, understand something. And Major and I had talked about this, and Pastor Gerald, I'm not going to probably learn a whole lot initially about that, because I want to help as many of your friends and family lock in their spot. But I will get enough to know, and I have my MetaTrader account, to actually use the signals to actually make, to do some trading. But guess what? You're going to have that opportunity, and it's only $19.99. You can go into the back office and you can look at, our what we call it, our Epic University, where inside of there they have like the Candlestick Bible, and there's 2 other downloads, 2 other PDFs. If you want to understand it, listen, it makes great bedtime reading, but it's something that you should go ahead and start looking into in some spare time. Maybe allocate 30 to 60 minutes a day. You don't have to eat the whole elephant. Just take 1 bite at a time. But the first thing you got to do is you got to go ahead and lock in your position. Like, you don't want to sleep on it and then wake up and be like, dang, I wish I'd have got started, back then in September, because I could have helped 10 of my family members get started, right, at the $19 the first month. So don't sleep on it, right? Like, it's one of those things kind of like you're going to earn as you learn. So get started. We're going to start to teach you, right? We're going to start to teach you, and you get a chance to lock in your spot. So here's what I want to do now. I just want to verify if anybody has any questions whatsoever before I break down the comp plan a little bit for you. Does anybody have any questions before I break down the comp plan at all? Raise your hand if you do, and I'll answer your question, or just unmute your line. But what I want to do is I want to kind of dive into the comp plan, because it is a little bit different from what we're used to. A lot of people are used to. People are used to like binaries, and people are used to unilaterals. Most people are not used to a tri-something matrix. I don't even have the words for it yet, but I call it a trinary. I made up my own word for it, but the 3-legged type thing. So when you're starting to look at the compensation plan and you see over to the left, let's start all the way over to the left, and you see, 3 personally referred scholars on this side. The company only requires that you ever have 3 active scholars, and your education is free. Now, as a leader in the company, what I'm going to tell you is not to count on 3 anything. In other words, two rules of thumb. One is that it's a numbers game, right? So if it's a numbers game, we have to understand that even the best baseball players miss the ball 8.1 times out of 10, but earn millions of dollars a year. So they will miss more than they will connect. It's a numbers game here as well, okay? If you want to have 3 steady, consistent, active partners, then you probably need 5, 6, or 7. Why is that? Because if I have 5, 6, or 7, and 3 of them, their card doesn't go through, I still have 4. Does that make sense to you? But if I only have 3, and somebody's card didn't go through, now the company needs my $99. Does that make sense? So as a leader, I'm going to tell you to bring on 4, 5, 6, 7, because we want to make sure that you keep your education for free. Now, what's unique is that those 3 personal legs, those 3 scholars, are only required to go from $500 a month all the way up to $1 million every 28 days, not per month, every 28 days. So you need 3 scholars. You'll only ever have three legs personally on your front line. Now, as you're growing your income, and you'll notice that you'll see a particular structure. That structure must be adhered to. So in order to earn $500 a month, it can't be 4, 2, 4, or 2 in the first leg, 4 in the second, and 4 in the third. Even though he tried to do that for us because it would make it easier, it can't be that way. You must have 4 in the first leg, 4 in the second leg, and then 2 in that third leg. That is how you qualify for Founder 500. And again, that qualifies you for $500 every 28 days. Why is it every 28 days? Because every 7 days is when you get paid. So, does that make sense? So because we get paid on a 7-day cycle, a 1-week cycle, everything runs on a 28-day cycle, because 4 weeks is 28 days. Now, when you get to the second level of Founder 1000, you can see 12, 12, 6. So let me illustrate it a little bit differently than on this chart. Let's go to the next slide, right? So when you are a founder, okay, you are a founder. Remember, when is that? When you have 3 personal scholars. And what does that mean? Somebody put in the chat for me what it means when you have 3 personal scholars. What does that exactly mean to your pocketbook? What does that mean? Hey, I have it on the screen, but I just want to make sure you guys are still with me, that somebody's listening to me. What does it mean when you have 3 personal scholars? Let's see. I think I just saw somebody put something in the chat. Hold on. All right. So Rhonda said it's it's free. That's right. Major says it's free. So in other words, let's just say you want to build, but maybe you're not the fastest builder. Well, the beautiful thing is once you have 3, at least your subscription is free, right? And so that is there for you. Thank you, guys. All right, now, to go to Founder 500, again, you still have those 3 scholars, but now you've begun to help your team. And here's the thing, family. You may have somebody who only wants to be a trader. They only want to trade. Well, guess what? You still can help them get 3 and 3 because if they're smart, we're not even saying if they're smart, because Isaac knows how to make money on the market. He's already doing his own trading thing. He's not sweating the $99. Does that make sense? On the other hand, me personally, even if I'm making money on the market, I want my education for free. That's just me. So when you help your first person to go ahead, right, and you begin to help this person to get their 3, and you begin helping this person get their 3, or should I say we're helping you help them, okay? The moment this person has 1 person on her team, your structure is 442, guess what? You're qualified with 10 people on your team for $500 every 28 days, $125 every single Friday. Now, here is what's interesting is that it doesn't have to be just that way. Like, he doesn't have to sponsor all 3. He could sponsor this young lady, right? And then she sponsored 1 who sponsored 1. But that's still 1, 2, 3, 4 people in that organization. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter who brought them in. It doesn't matter if he gave her, this person, to sign up. It doesn't matter. Why? Because the company only counts how many people are in the organization, not who put them there. And so that is a great thing for new people, especially people who are not builders, to be excited about, because, again, there's going to be some spillover and some spill under because we need to fill the spots on that leg. So speaking of which, let me help you understand this. When you sign somebody up, they go into something we call placement hold or a holding tank. And what that means is that they sit there, and I want to say it's for 48 hours. Like I was telling Pastor Gerald, everybody needs to go through and read the comp plan and read the terms and conditions. Familiarize that with yourself. Again, makes great bedtime reading. But people will go into this holding tank, and like I was telling Rhonda, then what you do is you decide where you want them to go from there. So if this person puts somebody in the holding tank, he needs to have 2 in this leg by Sunday, and he's already got the other legs done, then he can place this person on her team, right? And it qualifies as 4-4-2. So it's a win-win-win for everybody actually having this type of structure. As a founder 1,000, the way it looks is 12 in this leg, 12 in this leg, and 6 in this leg. So let me, as I'm training you on this, let me just reiterate a point. You never want your organization, went the wrong way. You never want your organization to be sitting at the company's minimum. Why? Because if for some reason one of these people's cards does not go through, right? It does not go through, and it messes you up on Sunday, right? It messes you up on Sunday at midnight. Then now you don't get your $250. You default back to what? To $125. Now, it's not a horrible thing, but I just want all of mine. Does that make sense? And so you would build this organization to get this leg to at least, 15 to 17. This leg to 15 to 17, and this leg to 9 or 10. Now, of course, it's got to get there. But my point is, don't get comfortable when it's sitting where the company requires it to be for your bonus. Get comfortable when it's beyond that, right? Get comfortable when it's beyond that, because you want to make sure that your income is secure. Again, 2 things to remember. A, right, it's a numbers game, right? Y'all understand that. It's a numbers game, and because it's a numbers game, we've got to work the numbers. Now, when you go to Founder 2000, let me reiterate again this particular point, and the point is simply that it cannot be any other structure other than what you see. So when you are starting to build your organization, you're going to want to look to put your strength or your stronger recruiters, people want to build in positions 1 and positions 2. Does that make sense? Because you need twice the effort in positions 1 and 2 as you need in position 3. So the beautiful thing about the platform is that you have the ability to kind of, with that placement tank, you kind of have the ability to have that conversation with some of your, the people, your champions, and find out if they're feeling like, well, I'm not sure if I want to build, then they may want to go in leg 3. Does that make sense? Or you could say, well, if they don't want to build, I definitely want to support them. I've got some strong people coming on in leg 1. I'll put them there. But my point is, you want to have those conversations, particularly with your mentor. So at this point, $500 every single Friday, family, and you just put $26,000 holding this, right, for a year is $26,000. In America, most Americans, I think the per capita in America is less than 21. I think what is poverty in America, like 14,000, 17,000 or something like that? So you're able to part-time show people how they can be blessed if we go out there and talk to them. I think one of the things that we have to understand is the strategy. So if we're coming into this platform, and I was having this conversation, I've had it with Major and Rhonda and Leslie and Jamila, something that you should understand, Mapaquita, something that I'll teach you. But when you get started, and you start talking about what would my goal be during pre-launch, right? And again, you have to decide, like Major and I talked today, I know what his goal is by the end of the month. I know what Rhonda's goal is by the end of the month. When you start looking at pre-launch, your first thing is to get your position. So you need to get that as soon as possible. Why? Because there's something called position equity. If you get started here versus down here, what is the likeliness that there will be spillover or spill under, more spillover or spill under on your team waiting till later or doing it now? See, because once all of these people right here get started, they are ahead of you, not behind you. Does that make sense? So as you're looking at what would my goal be, it is A, right? It is A, to get my position for $19.99. B, I want to get 3 and free. Then C, I want to get to $500 a month. I want to be structured at $500 a month. That's 10 people. And if time permits, get structured to $1,000 a month, and that's 30 people by the end of September. Those will be your goals. And so you can check them off as you go through. Those would actually be your goals. So here is another rule of thought. As I was talking about, when we're starting to look at how this actually looks, in organization, right, status, $2,500 a week is when you got 500 people on your team. Well, family, that's $130,000 per year. So just to crack the 6-figure mark, it's helping enough people who help enough people who help enough people where you've got $10,000 every single month, $2,500 every single 28 days, $2,500 every single week. Now, when you go to Ambassador 50, 1,000 in your first leg, 1,000 in your second leg, 500 in your third leg. Again, you've still got the same 3 people that you're building down under. Now, here was a question that I asked David on last night. What happens when you have this person right here, they don't stick around? Because I've already had that happen. A person right there, they're gone. So what happens, right? Well, remember, it's a numbers game. Remember that? We've already said that you got to understand that it's a numbers game. Well, he said it all will compress. It doesn't matter whether somebody is in that position or not. As long as this organization has 1,000, he said there are going to be gaps throughout your whole organization because not everybody's going to stick around. Ergo, why you never want to sit at 1,000, 1,500, you want to have numbers above that. So you want to grow past that point if that's your level of income you want to stay at, right? But when somebody does move, it doesn't matter if they're out of a position. It just matters that you have that number of people in your organization. So let's move further at Icon 100. And guys, you'll kind of, this number, the 100, actually is just telling you how much you are making on a monthly basis, right? So it's 100,000. So they didn't do Icon 100,000. They just said Icon 100. That's just telling you what your income is on a 28-day basis. Every 28 days, $100,000. And you have on your team at that point 5,000 people, and your residual income every single 28 days is $100,000. When you move to Icon 200, what does that mean you're making per month? $200,000, right? And then when you move to Icon 500, that's $500,000 every 28 days that comes into your account. So when you start looking at where do I need to be in 5 years? Is 100,000 a month enough? Or is 50,000 a month enough? Or is 25,000? Does that make sense? You just determine where your sweet spot is, and let's run for the spot. And of course, the top of the comp plan is something called Epic. 30,000 in the first leg, 30,000 in the second, 15,000 in leg 3, $1 million every single 28 days, $250,000 every single week. Bananas, right? It's absolutely bananas. Again, find your sweet spot and let's run for the spot. The beautiful thing about network marketing, as you guys all know, or for some of you, you may not know, is that once you really run hard for 2, maybe 3 years, and let's just say your team gets to a place where it's sitting at 1,000 in the first leg, 1,000 in the second leg, 500 in that third leg, right? It's going to keep growing by default because you're going to have a leader back. I'm going to teach you, how to have 4 leaders in every organization. So you're going to have a leader backed by a leader backed by a leader. Well, you're going to teach your leaders to have a leader backed by a leader backed by a leader, right? So you're going to have leaders consistently in your organization. It will continue to grow without you. Does that make sense? And as it continues to grow, sometimes as a leader, you'll hit an organization position by default because of the work that your leaders are doing that you trained them to do when you were training them, when you were working with them. And so one of the benefits of network marketing is that your efforts don't stop when you do. They continue to multiply themselves over and over and over again, creating that repetitive income that we're looking for. Because when you think about it, 2008 was a recession. That's when our business failed as an automobile dealership because, we had a recession and cars were hard hit and our bank filed bankruptcy, and it was just from sugar to sugar honey iced tea after that. Now, 12 years later, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So the question is were we prepared in 2008, and were we any more prepared in 2020? And if the answer to either of those is no, or definitely if the answer to both of those is no, it's time to do what Grandma said. And Grandma said, listen, you got to repair your roof while the sun is still shining. You got to make sure that not to have all your eggs in one basket and realize there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I was joking with my niece earlier today, and I was like, why would somebody even say something like that? But the point simply is there's more than any one way to do anything. This does not advocate that you give up what you're doing, but it does advocate that you put a plan B behind your plan A. And as we grow, family, with the Forex and this, you kind of got a plan B and C. We want to move on to a plan D where we're investing in real estate and then to other businesses. And we're kind of, taking some steps like a Warren Buffett where we've got our hands, not our physical energies, but our hands into multiple businesses, and we're creating multiple streams of income, but we can springboard it with the kind of income we can earn here at Epic. So it has been my absolute pleasure to share with each and every one of you on this evening. I'm going to pause the recording, but if there are any